white guy, an Indian guy, and a Chinese guy. There's four of us. You know, and they were all from different background, different culture. So in the evening time, we used to go to the espresso coffee bars, you know, and hang out. So that sort of eased me into the sort of British way of, you know, culture sort of thing.
You had to adjust to the situation. How there were different culture altogether. You go to work, you come back, you sleep, you go out, you come to church on Sunday, you go to church on Sundays, if you're Christian.
Music it helps because you're in your room. Well, I could only afford a little radio, and listening to the radio, well, some of the songs is different than the songs back home, but what can you do?
The English music was lousy. You know, we like our calypsos and what's not. But the thing is about it, we used to go to dances that were like black people's dance. But the thing is, white people used to go there as well. Because in a certain time, you saw the blacks and the whites mingling together and come and join.
Yeah, he had music. You remember at that time he used to have with television, you know, he had the slot, the 2 shillings thing, and you played the radio and that sort of thing. But that again have changed over the years. It wasn't, in the beginning, it wasn't like that at all. And I mean, I didn't think people paid much interest to it unless they listened to the news and something. They weren't into the radio much because that was new, wasn't it? So
I didn't have any problems at all. You know, we all got on well. Didn't have any problems at all. No racial problems or anything compared to what I had, most certainly compared to what I had when I first arrived, when I was living in London. I couldn't settle in with the white folks. Well, no disrespect to them, but I was looking on the colour thing, someone my colour or near enough that I could relate to, you know. Not knowing, being young and naive, not knowing that they're from different country, you know, different culture, just like myself. So then as we got together, we sort of exchange, you know, talk about where we're from, culture, background and that sort of thing, and that helped us. I think it helped us all to settle in, really.
I have no problem with food because up here, being as black people were around for a while, the people click and realized what food that they wanted, because when my sister then came up, they were telling us about the food, the same like at home that they can get up here. So there you are.
The food, well, we couldn't get our Caribbean food, but now you can get everything. Funny thing about it, I can remember going to the shop to get some rice, but the rice, it wasn't the rice that we used to get back home. When you cook this rice, it's sort of soggy. It wasn't, I don't know what sort of rice it was, so just leave the rice alone and stick to potatoes.
I've learned different things. I learned how to communicate with people, how not to, you know, not to be really rude to people, and live within the law. And you know, never judge people by face value. You know, you get to know people. The longer stand, the more people I get accustomed to, and meet some of my cousins and things that was here. You know, and it was a place where the milkman could come and put the milk on your door, put your bread on your door. Nobody will trouble them. When you come home from work, they're all day Or if you and the people that you live with get on well, they would take them up until you come in. You could walk out anywhere at night. It was no trouble. The only thing socialising, you couldn't get in, you had trouble getting into the working men club. Like if you got the railway working men club, if you're a good cricketer or anything like that, and they got a cricket team, you can get into them easy. But otherwise you go to something, they just didn't want to know you. I've never had any trouble in Leicester. Mm-hmm. Never had no racial problems. Joined the trade union, joined the Labour Party here. I was made chairman of the Leicester branch of the GMW union. And then I was persuaded by one of the reverends to come to this church. I used to go to St. Saviour's Church, and then they amalgamated together.
The church have changed because a lot of the members have died or they've moved away. That's how it has changed. It's under repair, you know, it's not many people are coming. They're older, as we all get older. That's how it's changed. It needs finance to help us to, you know, get it repaired and that, and to see if we can build up the congregation. We've had a few priests come through these doors. I've seen a few, but this one we've got now, hopefully see what he can do for us. Well, he's trying his utmost to see if we can get it on a sure footing.
Yeah, things have changed. Say for instance, we didn't have this partition when I came to Leicester, because it's a big church and in the winter it's cold. So by having this partition, it helps to keep the heat in this side. And the funny thing about it with St. Peter's Church, because it's a well-known church that, say, black people visited or whatever, if a black person passed away, whether they belong to this church or not, they'll have the service here and everything. So St. Peter's Church is there for a purpose, a reason, whatever.
When I first came here, this church had a massive congregation. And you come church here on Sundays, nearly full. But then all of a sudden the congregation started dropping off. People complaining that the church is cold, and all like that, you know. Just put heat in St. Peter's Church, and that's how we got that central heat in there.
Building work, to me, it's got to be done. But to me, it's not a big problem that plays on the congregation mind. They do complain about it, yes. They do moan about it, yeah. But they will come in if you get the right rate proper for it, yeah.
I pray for that as well, because when I came, it was in good condition, but things wear and tear, you know.
People still talk a lot about it. Although you don't get a lot of people in church, you've got a lot of talk outside. People talk about St. Peter's. They're always talking about St. Peter's Church. Whoever you meet, West Indian you meet, they always talk about St. Peter's Church. It is a special church for them. Yeah, you get weddings, all christening, funerals. They always want St. Peter's Church.
This church means a lot, you know, to me, and to a lot of West Indians.
At St. Peter's Church, when you come in on Sunday morning time, it was full, and 90% of them were West Indians.
It helped me a lot because it's something that I accustomed to from the West Indies. So I come here and I pick up the same.
Black people start coming to church here, you find the white people, they sort of, as if they're vanishing.
You go to church, and people will say, "You can't sit here, that's my seat." You know, there's nobody to complain to. And this church, St. Peter's, was the only one that really upset the West Indian people without any trouble. And nearly every Saturday, there used to be a wedding here. But now every Friday, there's a funeral.
I did feel good, you know, by seeing some black people here as well, you know.
St. Peter's Church is different from the Caribbean church, really. Much, much different. Because you get a lot of singing and hallelujah and all that. It was different to us, yes, but we get used to it, and I like it.
Quite a few of West Indian, you know, when I came through that door, you know, and ever since, you know, when I came home and leave from the Air Force and I come to church, I, you know, come to St. Peter's, and I've, you know, been coming to St. Peter's, you know, ever since. I'm the head server of this church, you know, so I've got a lot, you know, that this church gave me a lot, and I want to put back as much as I can into the church.
My hope for the future for the church really is to continue what it's doing now, and at the same time, I'm really hoping to see a lot more people coming in.
And one of the saddest things that I noticed that the young people are not coming into the church. We're seeing them coming here as a baby, you know, to be baptized, christened, and then, yeah, we wouldn't see them again. And that's, you know, that's really, really, really sad.
It doesn't really matter whether it's West Indians, Polish, or anybody, just to see more people coming into the church.
You know, what I would like is to see more of these young people coming into this church.